Familiar to millions as TV's Downton Abbey, Highclere Castle is usually bursting with life at this time of the year, with up to 1,000 visitors a day attending weddings and concerts and tours of the grounds.
But with lockdown in full force, the 300 staterooms are empty, leaving the Count and Countess to manage the castle's biggest disruption since the Second World War.
Well, Lady Carnarvon joins us now to tell us more. Lovely to talk to you. Thank you for joining us. So lockdown started for you on the 23rd of March. How did that feel for you to close the doors?
I think it was just the most enormous shock. I mean, I don't think any of us really understood or knew what we were getting into at that time. I think it has taken a while to sort of filter through the scale, the enormity, the devastation, the sadness. It is a complete catastrophe. I'm not sure it's economically not worse than the Second World War. It's, you know, from 1,000 people coming out of their cars, taking selfies on the lawns, the kitchen starting with the baking the breads, the scones. There is nothing, and the income is therefore zero. So we're in the same position as so many other businesses. We're hospitality, we're heritage, and we rely on and welcome people. It's all about making people happy, giving them tours, food, drink, all those things that have been at the centre of our lives.
And you employ over 120 people. Some of them have been there for an extremely long time. So making people redundant was not an option. Yeah. So you have had to furlough an awful lot of people.
Yes, we have. We've sort of made our choices because, you know, we're all trying to work out who we should be furloughing, who we can keep on, because furloughing is effectively building up a much greater debt for this whole country and nation later on down the line. But we're trying to breathe in. You know, this whole ship has stopped on the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and the waves are not that easy, and we're just trying to hold ourselves together until we can slowly get going again and slowly, I would hope, begin to employ a few people, and then that kick-starts, you know, their own lives and families and mortgages and money again. So you're right, we've made different choices in order to try to survive and hold our breath, is how I think of it, for the next 2 or 3 months.
I suppose, really, because people will look at Highclere there and think, you know, it's a beautiful home. Oh, they must be absolutely rolling in it. What a gorgeous place to live. But when everything stops, that's got big ongoing overheads.
We don't have a secret pot of gold. Our pot of gold has been hard work. We didn't financially benefit from the success of the Downton film, for example. We rely every day on people coming through the door, on making them scones, and welcoming people here. I've certainly written some books, and we'd actually last September just launched Highclere Castle Gin, and that was one of our endeavours, to try to leverage the brand that we hopefully have created and sell the gin abroad in America and Canada, where it started selling really well. And again, it's somewhat harder to keep a new business going at this particular period in time. So we're doing our best. You know, we're always looking for different business endeavours to try to support what is quite a large heritage. I think of it as a stately overdraft, but one I'm very fond of.
And for you personally, now you haven't got the people there helping to sort of clean the place. I mean, how are you dealing with 300 bedrooms?
Well, it's 300 rooms. I've decided, I looked at it and I just thought it's too much. I'm at my desk and computers for probably 12 hours a day. I worked one evening till about 2:30 in the morning. My husband's working pretty hard as well. So so we're the main office team, and there's 2 or 3 others who are the core team who've been together, living and working together since the 23rd of March. So that's our first focus. And I did hoover one room, and because it had loads of flies in it, and actually I hadn't bothered to open the windows, which was a mistake, because when I opened them I saw I'd done it really badly. So I actually tried again and then gave up. But,
I don't blame you.
Wow. I mean, it's one of those things. You've got to be innovative, and I know that you are worried about the future, and you've got to constantly think outside the box, which you've done. And so cocktails have always been a part of Highclere. cocktail parties back to the 1920s, and so you're reinventing them.
A virtual cocktail party. I mean, I think we're back to Maggie Smith's wonderful remark, what is a weekend? And for many people, it's a month of Sundays. And for Geordie and I, it's just every day is a work day at the moment. But we thought it was fun on a Friday to create a virtual cocktail party. You can go back to the archives and think about what people were drinking at that time. What were the aviation or the White Lady or the hanky-panky from the Savoy bar, and recreate some of them and share our stories and answer people's questions. So it's using my husband's mobile phone operated by my son on a friend's stand. And it's doing Facebook as well. So the whole thing is completely hysterical. So we've turned ourselves into a very successful film company now.
Well, you had 60,000 people, I think, were watching the last time you did it. How did you feel being a presenter?
I'm very nervous. And then at some point, the phone was landscape and not portrait, and everything was going wrong. But do you know what? I think people felt that their own Facebook lines had gone down. So it was, you learn. I mean, goodness me, we're learning so much every single day. And it's just helping us, reevaluate, and I hope get a little bit better at things we should have got better at already. And then value, I suppose, the company of dogs, which has become so important. And whatever happens, they're always there for you and going to tell you it's all right. And they make you go out for walks. And I think I've noticed the bird song or the leaves or the sky at night far more than I used to. And I thought I did, but I haven't as much as I should. So in some ways, it's looking for the still small voice of calm, isn't it? It's about which direction we should go on and what we choose to be the new normal at the end of this very unnormal and sad time.
Your dog is just so gorgeous. I mean, talk about living your best life there. Who is that? Who is your dog? Which one is this?
He was
Alfie.
The one. He was on your sofa when you were down here.
He's gorgeous.
He absolutely is.
Ooh.
I suppose. Oh, look there. We're just having a look at us when we came and you allowed us to come and do the show from there.
Oh, yeah.
It must be, I suppose, for you. I mean, really unusual to have the place to yourself for such a long time.
It is, but do you know what? I'm not really enjoying it. I mean, I don't think I went out enough yesterday, and I didn't sleep last night as a result. So I went for a bike ride this morning with the dogs, and then he got very wet. So I've given him a bath. He's very, very smelly from jumping in a pond. So I'm trying to remember to do what I think other people should do too, as well as me. So I am. It is very strange, but Highclere is not about the stones in the building. I just think it's about the people, the family, the community of everyone who lives here with us. It's about, Les, who works with us full-time. He's 94, so obviously he's at home isolating. It's this extraordinary band of people who've been here for many years, or maybe only 12 years. It's the people who come because they love Downton Abbey and dream of coming up to the drive and hope they can find Lady Mary or Hugh Bonneville somewhere inside. It's this wonderful, happy muddle, and I think it's a really wonderful world apart and distraction in a really, what everyone feels is such a scary and dangerous time.
Well, thank you.
It's
thank
lovely
you very
talking
much
to you,
indeed.
it really
It is
is.
lovely to talk to you, and let's hope this is all over soon and life can get back to some sort of normality, and that you'll all be okay at the end of it. Thank you for talking to us.
Take care.
I'm sure we will.
Thank you.
Thank you, Holly and Phil.